One St. Paul, one team. That's the motto of the new St. Paul High School hockey team. An alumni event was held here at Charles Schulz Highland Arena to bring together any player that played for any of the past St. Paul City High School teams, honoring the past and supporting the one St. Paul High School hockey team on the ice today.
I realize it's a big deal, and today being able to recognize the alumni from all the other schools, and I hope we have a big turnout for that, because it's a big deal, absolutely.
And the alumni did turn out. It took 15 minutes between periods 1 and 2 of the St. Paul versus Irondale game to recognize all of the alumni that came back. We had a chance to talk to a few of the returners on their memories.
We were not a winning team at Mechanic Arts during my 3 years as a varsity player. But my senior year, we actually had 2 ties. We didn't have a win, but one of the ties was against Harding. And of course, back in the 50s and early 60s, Harding was and continued to be for a long time a real power.
They had a thing called the Trainer Fun League. Showed up down at the rink, and any kid could come down there. If you had a pair of skates, they'd hand you a helmet and a jersey, a cheap jersey. You had to give the helmet and the jersey back before you left that day. They give you that helmet. All of a sudden, with the helmet and a jersey, you're a hockey player. And it was great. And John would be down there, and Wally Kranz, who was the varsity coach at the time, and John was a junior varsity coach. The older guys would practice up at Valley right after our Trainer Fun League. So the kids would be rubbing elbows with older kids. So what I thought was very important, because I learned so much.
These alumni, I've either played with them or watched them when I was growing up, the older ones, and now the younger group. I coached for a few years, so I know a number of those kids. So it's just fun to be around and reminisce about old times.
Our junior year, so 1977-78, we were ranked number 1 in the region that year. And we ended up playing South St. Paul in the region final, and we lost 2-1 in overtime. But we were this close to going to the state tournament.
Probably my senior year, we played in the section final against Henry Sibley. We lost, but it was pretty exciting.
9, 10 years old, I'd be in bedroom on the bunk bed with my older brother in the other one, and we'd be talking about how it was just a matter of fact that we were going to go on and we were going to make the Johnson area A team, and then we were going to go on and play midgets at West Barrett, and then we're going to play high school hockey at Johnson, and we'll probably win a state title. And then after that, of course, we'd go to the Gophers and win a national title there. In between would probably be the Olympics, and yeah, we're probably going to get a gold or a silver medal. And then after that, it was just natural. We'd play for the Minnesota North Stars, and we'd win a Stanley Cup. And that's the beautiful thing about being a child and having hockey in your life. Those things are real to you when you're a kid. And some people actually do achieve those goals, which is just amazing.
Any of my players from Mechanic Arts, from Washington, from Como Park, or from any of the rival schools that we had those tremendous rivalry with the Johnsons and the Hardings and the Monroes and the Humboldts and the Wilsons and the Centrals. And I don't know if I missed somebody, I'm sorry. We got these wonderful memories, and the memories are not just necessarily about achievement. We had accomplishments as a team, and that's the most important thing. But I think what we remember is being with those teammates.
You know, now that we're pulling all, players from a lot of different communities in St. Paul, that hasn't happened before. But I think that we're going to compete. I think St. Paul is going to get on the block for hockey, and participation.
The alumni were back to see the new One St. Paul team. Now, how has this year's team come together, coming from all different areas of St. Paul?
It's a work in progress, for sure. But no, the kids have gotten along well since the start. We had them in the summer and the fall at captain's practice, so they've been on the ice for quite a while. One of the bigger differences, too, is not just different schools coming to play hockey, but also during the day, they're not seeing each other, right? They're not in classes together, where if you have 1 or 2 schools, the majority of the kids are still seeing each other during the day. So we've just got multiple schools, and I didn't really put that into the process. you know, but that is a big deal. You don't see your teammates in school. And with that said, I think they've come together pretty well. Yeah, I have had no issues with kids or different schools or anything like that, which is very positive in my mind.
And what message do the alumni have for the players of today?
Keep going, keep going. Hockey's not going anywhere. Hockey is part of the fabric of our communities all over the state of Minnesota.
Just do it. And doesn't matter how good you are, how bad you are, if you think you're bad, because it changes. Once you get 12, 13 years old, you might go from the worst to the best. And just smile and have fun, and don't ever stop if you don't want to.
I think it's extremely important. We are the state of hockey. We are the capital city of hockey. And so to keep that going and to give children the opportunity to reach their goals and do their best and just have so much fun playing the game is really, I think, what it's all about.
We still got kids out there playing, and that's the most important thing. There was an old instructional film in St. Paul Public Schools that Biff Adams used to show us every year. It was made in Canada, but in the voiceover in the film, I always remember what it said. Boys, play it hard, play it clean, but above all, have fun playing the fastest game on earth. And I think that's what these kids are going to be able to do, because we still got hockey in St. Paul. We don't have 9 teams like we did in the 70s, but we got boys playing hockey.
At the Charles M. Schulz Highland Arena in St. Paul, Justin Barrientos, NSPN.TV.